Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. It is January the 1st, 2025. I'm still in Rock Hill, hanging around for a few extra days to be with my granddaughter on her birthday. She'll be turning 5, and so we wanted to be there, but trying to be on the job as well. And I wanted to just give all of you, especially my wonderful team and church family in Illinois, but all of you that are kind enough to care about any little thing I might have to say. So God bless you all, and I want to wish you a happy new year. And so anyway, of course my life is dominated by the call of God on my life, and right now that has been reflected by being a minister to the ministers, the administrative bishop for the Church of God in Illinois. And so I want to, in particular, maybe give a shout out to them, but I believe that what I have to say will be applicable to all of us in every walk of life. But this morning, I'm big on quotes, as you know. First thing I do is look through my quotes, and I started over today, and I'll work through them. I normally don't know this, but I've got almost 6,000 quotes that I've collected over a number of years, and I will read through them all every year and try to add a new one every day. So that'll be 350, 365 quotes each year. And so I read from a guy that I really like a lot. His name is Phillips Brooks. Phillips Brooks, in his book, The Joy of Preaching. And he was a pastor, a very well-known pastor to the whole nation. Matter of fact, he was one that preached Abraham Lincoln's memorial service when he was assassinated. He pastored in Boston, and so highly regarded in his day. And I really like him, his sermons, and anything that I can get about him. And in his book, The Joy of Preaching, which I read probably about every year, to be honest, and I had included this in my quote file, 4 things. He sums up 4 practical applications for how a minister should live. And I just want to walk you through them today. Good advice for us to start our years, fellas and gals. But he was, I believe it was at Yale, he was given a lecture on the joy of preaching, and it was put into a book. And so he sums it up this way. He said, "I have but a few words to add upon the spirit in which the preacher does his best work." And that's what I want us to do in 2025, do our best work. "After what I have been saying, my points will need no elaboration. Forgive me if I venture to put them in the simplest and strongest imperatives I can command." And here's his 4 imperatives. First, he said, count and rejoice to count yourself the servant of the people to whom you minister. Not in any worn-out figure, but in very truth, call yourself and be their servant. And, you know, that gets right to the point. It's so easy to say we serve and we got a servant's heart. But then when we get treated like a servant, we realize, I'm not as good at being a servant as I thought I was. But Jesus said, "I came to serve, not to be served." And so I want to remind all of us, and that is that we work for the people. And when I go to a church, no matter the size, big, little, medium, when I go to a church, especially when I'm working with them during a pastoral transition, one of the very first things I tell them is, "Hey, I work for you." And I mean that. I work for them. We work for the people. God has sent us to take care of them. And so just as you start this year, pastors, what is your plan to make your people's life better? Not what is your plan to grow the church, to grow your budget, to get more volunteers, to get people to do what you want them to do. No, what do they want you to do? What can you do to make their lives better, to help them win at home, help them win at school, help them to win at their jobs? And if we serve our people, God will take care of us. And so that just starts right there. count and rejoice to count yourself to be the servant to the people you minister to. Then his second imperative, he said, never allow yourself to feel equal to your work. If you ever find that spirit growing on you, be afraid and instantly attack your hardest piece of work. Try to convert your toughest infidel. Try to preach your most exacting theme to show yourself how unequal to it you all are. And there's probably no greater danger in the ministry and in any area of life, and that is to get comfortable. The Old Testament way of putting that is to be at ease in Zion. It's been said that the three most addictive things in life is heroin, carbohydrates, and a steady paycheck. And if we're not careful, a steady paycheck, if it's not as much as we want, but just a steady anything, we get in the routine and we get comfortable. Shake the cage this year. Time is of urgency. The end of all things is at hand. And so preach as a dying man to dying men, never sure to preach again. And so let's not get comfortable. Let's don't feel like I know I need to grow. We give a little lip service to it, but we're not really engaged in the game. We're not really giving it our best. To do our best work is what he gave these imperatives for. And then thirdly, be profoundly honest. Never dare to say in the pulpit or in private, through ardent excitement or conformity to what you know you're expected to say, one word which at the moment when you say it, you do not believe. It would cut down the range of what you say, perhaps, but it would endow every word that is left with the force of 10. And I'll put this in the notes. That was a lot that I gave you there. I'll put it in the blog. But what he's saying is, let's measure our words and not say things that we're not passionately convicted and convinced are true. I heard earlier just this morning, I was listening to a podcast that I enjoy, and they were talking about the demise of the legacy, what is called the legacy media. Household names all of our lives. The demise in an election year, they laid off thousands, and some are going out of business and they're having to cut back. And the reason why, and this is not a political statement, it's just the facts. The legacy media has lost the trust of the people. They are at an all-time low. They are trusted less than politicians. And you know, if we look at the statistics, and I don't have them right in front of me, it's been a while since I've looked at them, but statistically, even ministers are in the lower quadrant of trust today. And it's because we say things, we cater to our donors, we cater to the people that we want to grow our church so much that we tell them what they want to hear. But ministers cannot be for sale. We've got to be trusted. We've got to speak the truth, speak it in love, but speak it consistently everywhere we go and tell the people the truth. We cannot be for sale. As I was thinking about this earlier too, this may bring you a little comfort. It would always amaze me when the harder I preached, the more my people would appreciate it and come up and tell me. I'm thinking to myself, oh Lord, they're going to be ready to run me out of town on this. But what would happen is they would appreciate it because they knew I loved them. They knew that I cared about them, and I was telling them what I told them for their own good. Ministers, let's don't be for sale this year. Tell the people the absolute truth. And then last of all, and this is a little lengthy too, and again, I will put this in the notes. He said, and last of all, be vital, be alive, not dead. Do everything you can to keep your vitality at its fullest. Even the physical vitality, do not dare to disregard. And then he goes on and he writes some other things about a man that he greatly admired, that just his presence when he showed up, he was so vibrant and alive that it added power and punch to his ministry. And And that leads into another one of my axioms. Ultimately, you and I are the message. The way that we carry ourselves, the way that we look, let's keep ourselves in shape. Let's keep ourselves engaged. Let's keep ourselves cutting edge. Let's be readers. Let's be learners. Let's be active. Let's control our diet. This temple, this instrument that God has given us, let's take good care of it. And let's be a man's man. Let's be a woman's woman if I'm speaking to my female ministers. But let's be the best that we can be, because ultimately we are the message. So there's 4 imperatives for us to live by in 2025. Let me just review. Imperative number 1, we work for the people. Really mean that. Serve your people. Do what is in their best interest. Imperative number 2, never allow yourself to feel equal to the work. Don't get comfortable. Run scared that you're going to be irrelevant, that you're going to be left behind. So don't get comfortable. Number 3, be profoundly honest. Don't be for sale. Don't cater to your donors. Don't cater to the community just to get them to come to church. Give people the truth. And then last of all, be vitally alive. Be the best you that you can be, spiritually, mentally, and physically. All right, God love you. Let's run to win this year for the gospel's sake. We'll see you soon, Lord willing.